Are you ready? Let's go.
It's Jay here.
Alex, are you ready to pod? We are ready. Let's get to it.
Ready.
Hey podheads, welcome to our first quickie edition of Pod With Me. It's super exciting because we get to have our little quickie moments Monday through Wednesday. Alright guys, we're going to go into a different tone right now because I want to follow up on our first episode, Prepping for STD. The reason is because I and other people keep seeing so many guys trying to have sex bareback. You might be HIV or you might be on PrEP and not have HIV, but you still want to bareback. I want to just remind you guys, if it helps, that there's so many STDs out there, and there could be a new disease stronger than HIV that can kill you, just how it happened in the 80s. So I don't understand why you guys want to have bareback with strangers. Why? It's plain Russian roulette. Here's some stats that was uploaded in June into YouTube from South Florida PBS, and they interviewed Dr. Hansel Toots, Associate Professor of Medicine at Miller School of Medicine, and founder and medical director, the Idea Exchange, the first and only legal needle exchange program in Florida, and Michael Kahane, Southern Bureau Chief of AIDS Healthcare Foundation. Listen to the stats that they mentioned that really freaked me out, and they should freak you out too.
So in South Florida, the problem is that we don't have an ideal healthcare system. So there are a lot of barriers in access to care. There's late diagnosis. There's difficulty getting to see a provider, difficulty getting medications. So whereas in the whole country, it's fewer than 1 in 300 people has HIV, in Miami, it's about 1 in 85 people has HIV. So many more people who have HIV that's not well controlled. That just makes it so there are more people who are spreading virus to others.
In the South, when people are diagnosed as being HIV positive, it's a late stage diagnosis. They're sick. They get diagnosed when they go to the emergency room because they're feeling ill, and they've infected a lot more people than elsewhere where testing happens sooner and people get on medication sooner. The infection rate in South Florida is so high that if you're sexually active in South Florida and you're not always practicing safe sex, you're in a high-risk group. I was just telling you earlier a story of a friend of mine, a 26-year-old white heterosexual male, who first off was saying, I didn't even know HIV was an issue anymore, and secondly said, I'm not in any of those risk categories, and I urged him and urged him and urged him to get an HIV test. He was HIV positive. Not only is South Florida the home of the highest HIV and AIDS rates, it's also the home of the highest STI rates. So PrEP is an excellent tool to protect yourself against contracting HIV, but you still need to practice safe sex in order to protect yourself from syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, all the STIs that are so prevalent in this community. You still need to practice safe sex.
Alright guys, I just wanted to drill that into your heads. If you are on PrEP, you must protect yourselves. Wear the freaking condom. I mean, I don't understand why you guys like to play that Russian roulette, meaning that you are playing with fire. You can get something that develops that's brand new, that no one has treatment for, or you can get some sort of STI that unnecessary, that could really mess with your system. So please protect yourselves. I mean, you might say it's none of my business, but guess what? It is my business. It's the community. It's innocent people that might start getting something, and all because of your careless behavior of not protecting yourselves. So here's some information if you want to go get tested.
The most critical piece is for people to know their HIV status, to have access to a test and to know what their status is. At AHF, throughout Miami-Dade and Broward counties, you can go to any of our testing centers, get tested the same day, and either be in medical care with a doctor or on your medications that same day or the next day. Go to hivtest.org, find a center that's closest to you, or go to one of our mobile clinics and get tested.
To listen to the full interview, go to youtube.com and search for YSF Miami HIV Epicenter. That's the South Florida PBS page. Thanks guys, I'm sorry I vented a little bit, but I just had to get that off my chest. You can also go back and listen to our first episode for more information And you can also get tested at your Care Resource Center. Just go to careresource.org.
Ready.
This is Alex J. Aguiar, and don't forget that on Thursday, our regular episode, and on Friday on our Facebook page, we're going to be live at 8:30 p.m. with a surprise topic. That's at facebook.com/podwithme, AJA. For more on Pod With Me, you can go to alexjaguiar.com. And remember, don't fall off the pod.